Howdy ladies and gents, my name is Thom Gibson, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how to make the most of your teacher summer. The basis of this video is so that you can reach the end of summer and you don't think, what did I do with my summer? Did I waste my summer? And I think I should start by defining productivity as spending time doing the things that you want to do. So it's not just about making sure you're at inbox zero or checking off a bunch of things to do, but that you are spending your hours and your days and your weeks of summer doing the things that you want to do. And so for me to make that happen, I have to create a routine and a schedule to make sure that my time is spent doing those things. One of my favorite books on daily routines is by Mason Curry. It's called Daily Rituals, and he just documents all the ways that scientists and authors and historians and philosophers and tons of people of the past structured their days. I always think it's pretty interesting because everyone really has a different sort of flow and a different time of day where they do their most productive work, or where they spend time with family, or where they do leisurely things. And so if you're into like routines and habits, I highly recommend this book. You might be saying, Tom, it's summertime. Isn't it defeating the purpose by just scheduling all of these things? Why don't you just relax? I do relax, and I schedule when I relax. Because I realize that unless I schedule time to do the things that I say that I want to do, that is probably not going to happen. We make time to do the things that we want to do. And so logistically, what this looks like, I spend Monday mornings planning out my weeks. I think about every day, what am I gonna do from the morning till about lunchtime? What am I gonna do for lunch? Am I gonna meet with someone, get coffee then? And what am I gonna do in the afternoon until my wife gets home from work? I fill in this chart using an app called Planboard. Originally, I used Planboard for lesson planning, but I don't really even use it for that anymore. I use it mainly for scheduling out my week and how I wanna spend these pockets of time that I have throughout the week. And so if you do use Planboard, you kind of create a semester, and then you just say like, okay, these are my classes. I have basically my AM, lunch, and PM. And I do this Tuesday through Saturday. The only thing for Saturday though is something in the morning. I'll usually get up before my wife and want to work on some stuff or get some stuff done before she gets up, and then we kind of spend the day together for Saturday. And then on Sunday is my day that I don't try to make anything happen. I don't set an alarm. I wake up and I let the day be whatever it is. I don't log into social media. I don't check my email. I don't listen to podcasts, and let myself recharge. I thought it'd be fun to give you 12 things to do this summer that'll help you make the most of your summer. And you can decide when and where you can fit these things into your summer schedule, whether you're single, married, have kids, don't have kids, whatever works for you. Number one, summer's a great time to take naps. I still like to get up early and go through my morning routine, and so usually around 1 o'clock, I'll lay down for a nap for maybe about 25 minutes. It keeps me from getting too groggy. And Dan Pink wrote in one of his books, he likes to take a nappuccino, where you actually drink a cup of coffee right before you lay down, but since it takes caffeine about 25 minutes to take effect, you lay down for about 25 minutes, and then by the time you're getting up, that caffeine is starting to kick in and you don't feel that groggy, I kind of feel like I want to keep sleeping feeling. Number two, exercise. Find out where, when, and with who you want to do exercise with. I take a 6 a.m. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class, which is a lot of full body exercise, but I also like to run with my wife about 3 times a week after she gets home from work. That's nice because we don't run with our phones, so it's a nice time for us to just talk about our days, get some exercise together, be outside at a nice time of day when it's not too hot because the sun's about to go down, and it's great. Number 3, schedule coffee or lunch with friends that you haven't had a chance to see in a while. I like to do this on that Monday morning while I'm scheduling out my week. Well, I'll text some friends, say, hey, what are you doing for Tuesday for breakfast? Hey, what are you doing Thursday for lunch? Hey, do you want to get coffee on Wednesday? This keeps me from kind of just being isolated and by myself all day and working on stuff, but I almost never get to have lunch with friends because of my teaching schedule, so summer is the perfect time for that. Number 4, read books that have nothing to do with teaching. I like to read before I go to bed. They say, don't look at your phone before you go to bed, so instead I like to read for at least 30 minutes. And as a side plug, I have an Instagram account that's dedicated solely to the books that I'm reading and my thoughts on them. It's called Books and Beef Jerky, and I also eat beef jerky and talk about that. Number 5 is schedule time to learn something that will help you in the classroom this upcoming year. That might be reading a book, it might be watching a couple YouTube videos, it might be going to a conference, trying to connect with other educators online. For me this year, I'm gonna be teaching a new esports elective, and so there's a lot to actually learn when it comes to structuring an esports program at a school. And so I'm a part of several message boards and groups of other teachers that are doing this that I spend some time discussing esports related topics, and I'm learning about some of the competitive PC games this summer like Overwatch, and actually figuring out the streaming aspect of it and getting the settings right so it doesn't overload my computer, and all the technical aspects of streaming and gaming that I'm gonna have to actually guide the students through when we actually have our own esports program. So yes, my educational professional development is to play video games. Number 6, schedule time to learn something that has nothing to do with education. For the past couple of years, I've been learning Mandarin, and so I usually would work on it for about 3 times a week during the school year. But this summer, I'm committing to spending 30 minutes a day, Monday through Friday, working on flashcards, working on watching shows on Netflix in Mandarin with Chinese subtitles. And progress is slow, and I'm still not very conversational, but it's all about the process. It's all about pushing yourself to keep learning. As a side note, if you have kids, make this devoted time, whether it's Tuesday afternoon from 1 to 3, as family learning time, where you're working on something and they're working on their own projects of something that they want to learn as well. The 7th thing you can do to make the most of your summer is plan a day to just binge on entertainment. Maybe you watch an entire season on Netflix and you never leave the house or get out of your pajamas. Or maybe you go to a friend's house and order pizza and play video games all day like I did last Saturday. I actually schedule these things out and call my friends, otherwise they're probably not gonna happen if I just say, oh yeah, it'd be nice to do that sometime this summer. Number 8, start a fun side hustle, whether it's related to education or not. And I have another video that I'll link where I actually talk about the different side hustles that I'm gonna be trying this summer. The 9th thing you can do to make the most of your summer is try to cook a new recipe. An app that I like to use is called eMeals. It's not free, but it's like Netflix for recipes. You can say what kind of diet you're on, and they give you 7 new recipes each week that line up with that diet, and then you can actually say which ones you want to make, and then it'll create a grocery shopping list for you based on those recipes. I'm realizing now that I totally should have reached out to eMeals to make this a sponsored video, but I didn't, so that one's for free. Number 10, consider starting your own social media account, whether it's Twitter, a teacher Instagram, a teacher YouTube channel, or a teacher blog. Summer's a great time to actually start learning how to do some of those things and make your website or your channel look the way that you want it to look, and to have fun with it. I have a second channel called Thom Teaches YouTube that'll walk you through some of that process if you're interested in that. Number 11, go to a library and hang out to get work there done instead of at a coffee house, just to change the scenery up. And the number 12 thing you can do to make the most of your teacher summer is to journal and reflect on your day at the end of every day. The way this looks for me, I've got a tiny little journal. I put the date, I write the most important thing that I want to get done that day in the beginning of the day, and then I just bullet point the things that I did that day. And so I'll read what I wrote for a couple days ago. Friday, June 7th. Most important thing, learn about Facebook ads. 5 a.m. Pull-ups, breakfast, pray, learn about Facebook ads and Google Trends. Put up classroom economy ad. Downtown library, 30 minutes of Mandarin TV, Instagram photos of library, planned summer education videos, and did some house stuff. We're buying a house. Lunch at True Foods with Dan and Robin. Books and Beef Jerky photos, films, editing, and export. Got Overwatch to work, and I'm terrible at it. Overwatch was the video game I was talking about. Went to Jitsu for open mats, no subs on my part. Dinner and TV with Sarah, read Andre Agassi book. And something that I put at the end of every journal entry, I actually got the idea from Matthew Dix, who's a professional storyteller, is my story-worthy moment. What was a moment in my day of realization or change? And so I wrote, making progress on my brand and my business. I got my first classroom economy course sale today, but feeling like I'm not making progress at all in Mandarin or Jiu-Jitsu, which stinks. It just takes me so long to get good, forgetting and making the same mistakes over and over again. So I like doing that because it helps me really think about like, where was my headspace that day? If I took one thing from that day, what would it be? Matthew Dix does this as ways to kind of find ideas for stories. I do this as a reflective practice of things that made me go, throughout the day. The cool thing about doing the journaling part is at the end of the summer, I'll go through and reread it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I totally forgot I did that. Oh yeah, I remember when we had that lunch. That was really awesome. And I actually like to highlight whenever I spend time with people because I want that to be a priority in my life. I don't want it just to be about like, learn about Facebook ads, grow on Instagram, make another YouTube video. And like, I want to be with people and I want to spend time with people. So I'm going to schedule that and I'm going to reflect on it as well. Let me know if you have any ideas of things that you're like, I definitely want to make sure that this happens this summer, and leave it in the comment below. A lot of the different things I've talked about, I have various links and other videos where I go a little bit more in depth, so I'll link to those in the description as well. My name's Thom Gibson. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you learned something today, and I will see you in the next video.